Good morning, grade 10s. Hope things are going well for you this lovely rainy day. Can you guys just give me a green check mark in Blackboard to make sure everything is good? We're in the live classroom and we're ready to start today. All right, so I'll wait until I start seeing the sea of green check marks to get started. I know, and as I'm waiting for that to happen, you guys, I know a lot of you are like, when are we gonna start the novel? When are we gonna start talking about it? We need to do a little bit of background theory before we get in, because I want you guys to be armed with the tools and the skills needed to be successful when we actually do start getting into the novel, all right? And I am gonna address that the first thing today. So it looks like everyone is into the live classroom, and looks like I've got my sea of green check marks, which is fantastic. It was so nice to see a lot of you guys out at fencing as well. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. If those of you that weren't there, I highly recommend you go to the next session, you guys. It was so much fun. I was very sweaty, but it was fun, all right? And I think Jade and Abby will attest to that as well, and Taylor, and whoever else, Zoe was there, I think, as well. So it was super fun, you guys. All right, so today's lesson, you guys, is all around theme, and we're going to learn about theme in relation to a short story. And then as the unit progresses, we'll relate the skills that we're using today into the novel. But I've kind of chunked our lesson today into two different areas. So here's our agenda. We need to start prepping for our Socratic circles. And some of you now are going to be like, Miss Ward, what are Socratic circles? Basically, Socratic circles are a safe and structured strategy for dialogue, okay? So that is what a Socratic circle is. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do that again as the unit progresses, but we need to start thinking about the beginning aspect of it, all right? And then I'm gonna do a little bit of content related stuff around theme, okay? So here's our setup. We need to start reading our novels and actually prepping for our Socratic circles. So the very first thing that I just want to start today, you guys, is basically getting you into your groups. Now remember, the whole idea of this unit with you guys, that I called it Novel in a Day. And remember, I warned you that we're not going to be reading it like we would a normal novel study. You will not read the whole novel. Some of you may have already read the whole novel. That's totally fine. I'm not going to judge you on that, okay? This will not harm you, okay? So just be aware of that, but we are going to be doing it a little bit differently. So I've split you guys into 3 groups. Group 1, you need to read chapters 1 to 3. Group 2, you need to read chapter 4 to 6. Group 3 reads chapters 7 to 10. This should take us about halfway through the book. And then once we've done our whole process with the first half of the book, we're going to redo it again with the second half, okay? So it's not truly a novel in a day. It's more like a novel in 4 lessons, okay? So just realize that. So those are the chapters. If you can have those specific chapters read for next week, that would be great. We're going to do our intro to theme today. Then on Thursday, when I see you guys next, we are doing one more lesson on literary devices. And then we're going to get into our Socratic circles so that we have a good base around the novel. Great. Taylor, I'm coming to that, okay? So whatever group you're in, those are the chapters you're reading. So even if you haven't read chapters 1 to 3, I want you to read chapters 4 to 6. You guys are going to become the experts in those chapters, okay? And then once we start sharing, you will get the ideas, the plot to the novel, once we all start sharing, once our groups start talking in our Socratic circles, all right? So that's really, really important. So Abby, now I'm going to answer your question. What group are you in? So here you go. Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. I've listed you here. What I will do with this, okay, is let you guys look at it for 1 minute. Then I'm going to actually put it into today's lesson as well, into the Moodle shell, so that it's there for you guys to see, okay? Actually, what I might do is make it even easier, is maybe I'll put it right up at the top of the English shell underneath my YouTube video about books. Maybe that's what I'll do, so it's right there for you guys to see. So if you could have those chapters read by Monday, that would be fantastic. Oh, Savannah, I totally did. Sorry, this is what happens when you do this the last minute. Good lesson to Mrs. Ward. Don't procrastinate. Savannah, I will go back and make sure that I spell your name correctly before I post it. All right? So take a look, you guys. Make sure those chapters are read for Monday. Okay? Let's give me a quick green check mark to make sure that that's clear. Does everyone understand? Is everyone's names on the list? Did I forget anybody? That's really important as well. So give me a green check mark in Blackboard if you are clear as to what you need to accomplish for Monday. Perfect. Looks like the majority of you totally understand. All right. So here we go. Now let's get into theme. Okay. So when we talk about theme, you guys, and that's totally fine, Taylor. Yeah, if you already read some chapters, totally fine. Just make sure you are clear on the chapters that I've assigned you. Again, so going to theme, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about theme, we need to make it very, very clear what theme is. So we're going to use a short story today to really talk about theme and how to develop theme in our own words, what we think the author is trying to tell us as a message. And then once we start getting into the novel, we'll relate that skill into The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. All right. So in the assignment, there is a video to introduce you to the concept of theme. If you guys could take a few minutes, watch it. I think it is only about just over 2 minutes long. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to watch the video, then come back into Blackboard, give me a green check mark once you are done. All right. So go ahead and start that, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect. I see the green check mark starting, and I don't want to start before I don't see enough green check marks. As you finish watching this video, into the room chat, type quickly either a word or a phrase that kind of sums up what theme is all about to you. What did you guys get out of that video? In one word or one phrase, what sums up the idea of what theme is? Yes, perfect, you guys. And I think each one of those that you guys stated right there can all be tied together, right? So that you can see aspects, what each of you guys came up with within each other's thoughts, right? And Avery, great. It's a lesson to apply to your own life, but it's very set out. There are some guidelines, Ava. I totally believe that. And good. And it's that overarching. It's a message, right? Oh, look at Alex beat me to the punch. It is. It's a message that the author is trying to convey to that reader. Perfect, you guys. So now that you have an idea of what theme is, now we're going to look at a strategy for how do we come up with the theme? How do we know what the theme is of a story or of a novel, whatever it is? So the story that I'm going to use as an example, you guys, is The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. So in the Moodle shell, you'll see a download button. I'd like to give you guys about 30 minutes to actually read. Let's go 20 minutes. Let's go 20 minutes to read this, okay? And then come back into Blackboard and give me a green check mark so that I know whether or not you're ready or not. So we'll go for 20 minutes. And if you need longer, we'll decide from there if we need a longer time to finish off the story or if we can continue on with developing what the theme is. Okay? So go ahead, take 20 minutes, download the story, print it if you need to, and then come back and give me a green check mark. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was 20 minutes. If you need more time, and I see only 4 of you have given me green check marks. So can you give me a green check mark if you finished reading the story? Give me a red X if you have not. And that'll just indicate to me that maybe I need to give you guys a bit more time as well. Because I know not everybody's at the same pace with their reading, and that's fine. So, and I'm assuming if you haven't given me a green check mark or if you haven't given me a red X, that really it's still a red X. So I'm going to say maybe another 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. And then we will, okay, thanks, Taylor. I'm going to give you 10 minutes and then we will reconvene again. All right. So let's go for another 10 and then please make sure you give me a green check mark once you are done reading. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if we can come on back, okay? Even if you haven't completely finished the story, and I'm hoping that you did, please just a reminder, give me a green check mark. We do need to move on though to get through today's lesson. So looks like the majority of you actually did finish the story. This is one of my favorite short stories ever. It's one of my favorites because of, throwing stuff around here, because of, Taylor, exactly what you said. It's almost that unexpected twisted ending, right? You feel throughout the whole story, something is gonna happen. You know something's gonna happen, but you're like, but what? And it really actually, the biggest connection that I make to this story as well is, perfect, Taylor, exactly. Because that's what you would have predicted with that title, right? With the lottery. Exactly, they were gonna become millionaires. What the biggest connection I made to you guys, did anyone make a connection to the Hunger Games? That's kind of where, once I started reading the story, I was like, this does sound a little familiar with the Hunger Games. And I started thinking, I was like, I wonder if this is where they got that idea from. If that kind of, because obviously Shirley Jackson wrote this story before the Hunger Games. So I was actually thinking about that as well. Yeah, totally. So excellent. I'm glad you guys read the story. Now we need to take that and we now need to convert it to theme. What were some of the themes of the story? Now, when I teach theme, you guys, the easiest way to wrap your brains around what theme is and how to develop a theme for a story is to look at it this way. There's topics that are talked about in a story, but that does not necessarily equate that it is a theme, all right? So please remember that there's a big difference between topic and theme, all right? You can take your topics and turn them into themes, and that's where we're going today. So we need to start thinking about what were some of the topics of this story. And I'm just going to go into my editing mode here, you guys, so I can actually jot some of these down. So I'll give you a first example. All right. One of my first examples that I thought of, one of the topics, and then once if you guys start getting the idea of what some topics of the story were, feel free to just jot them into the room and I'll keep adding to my list. But one of the big topics that I first came up with when I was reading this story was tradition, right? There was a lot of tradition going on within the story, right? The tradition around the black box, that they had to use the black box to pull the names out. There was a lot of tradition of the gathering of the families in the town square. There were tradition around the name drawing, right? The same person had to be in charge of the community involvement, right? So there was a lot of thought around tradition of the lottery. Okay? Exactly. So Abby, good. So tradition's one. Anything else that you guys can think of? What were some of the other topics within that story? I think tradition was a really big one. No, Avery, they did not. So Avery, yeah, they did not mention why they did the lottery, not within the story. You can totally speculate around why they did that, whether it was, population control. I don't know why they had this lottery other than tradition, right? Yeah, and it was done through random selection for sure. But why there was a lottery? Because they even said, remember, one of the community members even mentioned as well, I can't remember which character it was, but she said other communities are doing away with the lottery, right? And then one of the older community members said, oh, that's just crazy talk. We can't have that. Our society will go down the drain if we do not have the lottery, right? So that's big. So what are some of the other topics though? Tradition was one. Can you guys think of any other topics? For sure, Abby. And then that still ties into tradition as well, right? Here's another one I thought of. Oh, I just saw the chat come up. I'm going to wait for you guys. I want to give you some think time. Or not. Feel free, you guys. Sure, Savannah, absolutely. Can I put that, Savannah, are you okay if I put this in bracket? Because really, winning? Are we winning the lottery, right? Exactly. So let's think that as a topic. And I put that in quotations because, you know, are you really winning when you win the lottery? Okay, good. Fairness. Good. Yep, absolute. Woo, let's spell that, right? Death is another one. I'm just going to take away these spaces, you guys, so we can all see. Another one I thought of too, you guys, is family. You could see family dynamics occurring, right? Within each of the different families coming together. Oh, I like that one, Taylor. Good. Oh my goodness, my spelling. Community is another one. Now I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller here, you guys, so you guys can actually, so we can get more on here if need be. Now you guys are getting it right. Human rights. Now you guys are getting it. Good. Sexism. That was a big one too that I noticed. I didn't know if you guys would pick up on that as well, right? But it talked a lot about the heads of household, the family members, the men having to be the ones that drew the names, right? And I kept thinking like, why? Or the oldest sons had to take over, right? Absolutely. Good. I'm going to add that one in as well, Bria. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Violence. There we go. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so this may not be all the topics, ladies and gentlemen. You may think of some more on your own, but this is fantastic. This is a good start. Okay, so I'm just going to bring these up in the background for the next slide. So these are some of the topics of this story, right? So that's really, really important. So now what you're going to do is, this is how you change topics to themes, okay? So the first thing that you want to do is pick a topic. Whichever one interests you the most, it can be whichever one. Then you write a sentence about what the author believes about that topic. And you start your sentence with, the author believes that. Fill in the blank. So let's do one together as a class, okay? And then I'll get you guys going on your own with your own development of themes, okay? So let's go back, and I think tradition might be the easiest one to do as a theme because it was one of the big elements of the story, okay? So when I go here, and I'm just going to escape out of this to go into my editing mode again. So now, as an example, I'm going to say, the author believes that, and now we need to make a statement around tradition. So what does the author believe about tradition. So feel free in the room chat, you guys, to jot in your ideas. The author believes that. What does he believe about tradition? Okay, so awesome. Okay, I love how, okay, this is great, you guys. Okay, so this is what you guys are saying right here. Let me just pull up our handy dandy. I love this. So right now, this is what you guys are saying about what the author believes. Okay, about tradition. Awesome. You guys are hitting it spot on about theme, okay? About one of the criteria actually, okay, around theme. So if we go back to my PowerPoint here and say the author believes that tradition is important. I think that comes out as a big thing when you guys are all saying you think that tradition is important. But, okay, if we look, this is one of my big things. Okay, so I'm just going to put this up because right now you guys are saying, as a starting point, the author believes that tradition is important. Here is my criteria though. Don't be vague. Your statements must show some complexity in your thought. Okay, so for example, we could say the author believes that evil is bad. For sure, we could say that. But there's no depth to that theme. There's no supporting evidence of the text, okay? We need to make sure that our thoughts are a little bit more complex. So yes, he totally does believe that tradition is important, okay? And yes, Devin, I see that you think this is very important. You can still use it for the assignment. Yes. All right. So yes, the author believes that tradition is important. Can we reword that though to make our thought a little bit more complex? Take it to the next level, okay? So the author, some of you, I see Abby's there. The author believes that tradition can cause lots of problems, good and bad, right? Oh, see, Devin, I really like yours. Right? The author believes that it is dangerous to blindly follow tradition or a group. Okay? Tradition, the author believes that tradition is an important aspect in a community. Maybe we even want to combine some of your guys' thoughts as well, right? That can be really important, right? When we're working as a team, we want to be sure, okay? So the author believes that, what are we going to say? That following good, Abby, that's a great example as well. You know what? I'm not even going to write mine up here. You guys are doing such a fantastic job at doing it on your own and combining what everyone else is saying. That's great. Absolutely. So you guys are now coming up with themes related to the topic, which is perfect. That is what I want. All right. So now I think you guys are getting it. And sometimes this can be hard on your own. Perfect, Anna. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Now, just let me bring this up, you guys. Okay. So that's great. Now, to actually truly make it a theme, this is all you have to do. Cross out the author believes that. And voila, you have a theme statement. So for example, if we go back to Devin's, I really like Devin's. I think he hit the nail on the head on this one. And yes, he gets to still use it for his assignment, right? But he says, the author believes that it is dangerous to blindly follow tradition or a group, okay? So now what Devin would do is just literally cross off, the author believes that. And this theme statement becomes, it is dangerous to blindly follow tradition or a group. That's really the big message that the author is trying to get across. All right, fantastic. Now, here is your actual assignment. Now, what I'm going to do is you are going to partner up and you are going to choose 3 topics from the story, okay? With your partner, choose 3. And tradition can be one of them if that's what you feel. And you are going to turn each of those into a theme statement with your partner, going through that exact same process. The author believes that, right? So on and so forth. Revise as much as necessary to ensure that both partners agree with the statements. Then each each partner has to choose the best theme statement that they like. So you guys can choose different themes to hand in, okay? And then you submit that one theme. So whether it's on a Word document, whether it's on the online submission button, it's totally up to you guys, okay? So just to be clear, make sure you're not vague. Your statements need to show some complexity and it must be supported by the text. It can't just be this out of the, it's got to come from the story. Doesn't mean you have to quote the story, okay? But it does need to fit into the story, all right? Choose the best theme statement between your 3 that you and your partner come up with. Submit to Moodle, whether it's in a Word doc or in the online text box, totally up to you guys, whatever's easiest. But in the online text box, for sure, give yourself a mark out of 5 in relation to the criteria, all right? Now, make sure now, let's partner up. So if everybody can just raise their hands right now in Blackboard, and that's how we will partner up. Absolutely. So Devin, if you and your partner can choose to submit different theme statements, absolutely. Or you can choose to put in the same ones. Totally up to you guys. Yeah. I think that answers Anna's question as well. All right. So here we go. Here's who's going to partner up. So, here we go. So Abby and Avery, you guys are going to partner up. Ava and Taylor, Shayna and Anna, Jack and Savannah, Belle and Devin, and Bria. Oh, I like how Bria just put her name or her hand down. That's okay. Oh, Haley and Bria, you little cheaters. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing. You little cheaters. Just for that. You little stinkers. Just for that, everybody forget. Forget your partners that I just hooked you up with. You're going to ixnay all those partners. Abby. Oh. And now everyone's putting down their hands. Everybody put down your hands. Raise your hands again. Good. Thank you. All right. Here's your new partners. Abby and Anna, Devin and Avery, Taylor Haley, Bria Ava, Belle Jack, Alex Savannah. Okay? Shayna, I know you just rejoined because you were booted out. Shayna, can you go partners with Abby and Anna as well? Okay, so there's going to be a group of 3 of you guys. Same still assignment, there's just 3 of you as a group. All right, so Shayna, you join there as well. All right, so Damon, whoever's in the room but not grouped up, AKA Damon, Jade, okay, you guys will just have to do the assignment on your own if you feel more comfortable doing that. Oh, and it looks like Alex, did you just pop in? So maybe Shayna and Alex can then go together. That's okay, Abby. We just figured it out. Yeah, we've totally figured it out. So Alex and Shayna are actually going to go together as partners. Okay, so there's no more group of threes. Okay. Oh, are you with Savannah? Sorry, Alex. Okay. Shayna. Belle, you are with hold on. So we've got Abbiana, Devin Avery, Taylor Haley, Bria Ava, Belle Jack, Savannah Alex, Shayna, you are going to, you're going to go with Jade. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that, Shayna, that Jade knows what's going on here. All right. And then Damon, you're just going to go on your own because I know you came in late and that's totally fine. All right. Now give me green check marks if we understand what's going on. Perfect. Everybody's clear who their partners are and we're good to go. Yes, Taylor, so you're just going to private chat with your partner. And if you guys want, when I get back into my office, I will, on Blackboard, bring up my PowerPoint again and put the topics up on the screen so that you guys have a chance to talk about the topics and all of that. All right? So we are done on live classroom, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you guys back in Blackboard, back in my office, all right? If there's questions, just ask me on Blackboard. Bye, guys.